Hi, hi everyone. It is me, Sailor. It's me, Sailor Venus, Sailor Hellworld, Sailor V, Mina here. And today I'm going to talk about some folks that have, how I was handled in the drawing book, how I was handled in the drawing show, and how I was handled in the live, you know, um, PGSM live show. Now, in the funny book, I was handled more earnest. And if anyone who's ever read Hidden Name Sailor V, well, then you know that I started out as a sailor fighter first. Not before any of the other, not before the elder sailor fighters, because they were ahead of us. But I was the first inner sailor fighter. Now, the way that I was handled in the drawing, the funny book, and also in Hearst, 1, 2, and 3, and Forever, and Stars, was not the way that I was handled in a drawing show that was first done by TOEI, which Deke and Pioneer would then first put in the English, and then Viz would put in the English years later. Yeah, a lot of folks said that I was scathed me and say, "Oh, well, now you're nothing more. It's another offshoot of Serena. We already had one, Ditz or Klutz that got yellow hair. Now we got another one." But in PGSM, the live show, it only ran from 2003 YL to 2004 YL with some outstanding followings between. They never I was, I was offshooting to be a loner, to keep away from the other sailor fighters, and really didn't care much about my life beyond doing the past life goal, whatever that was. And then to make things also unlike, they gave me brain growth. They didn't come right out to say what kind of brain growth I had. They just said, you don't got really long to live. And then they also went out of their way, to make it where I was more worried about my past life goal than worrying about the life I had now. And, and they made me be a songstress, which that was my goal in the drawing show. So anyway, but a lot of folks also want to say is that, yeah, you died in PGSM, but came back. Yes, I did. Now, I know a lot of folks out there would, didn't like how I was handled in PGSM, the live show, or how I was handled in the drawing show, or how I was handled in the funny book, because, And we all know that I was handled in another way in the plays or the song plays or the ice shows that they still do to this day. Now, I don't really know if there was a bind, A lot of folks thought that, that I started out, clothing myself, calling myself Sailor V, and that when I was when I was in my homeland of, England, the 4-1 Kingdom, and how I was so well known enough that I'd gotten a film game, having a drawing film, and things like that. Now, in PGSM, I wasn't well known for being a sailor fighter at all. I was more well known for being a songstress, which was one of my goals. Like being a songstress was one of my goals in the drawing show. And yes, it's true that when I came, a lot of folks would say, yeah, when I came on the show, they're like, yo, it was a letdown, because now you're not, they said, no, now you got another yellow ditz on the team. Well, yeah, it might be true. There were some times where things didn't go right, like I overslept one day before I learned, or the time that I was help playing caregiver and I wrecked up, first Amy and Lita's house, then Ray's house, and then Serena and Reenie's house. Yeah, it's true. But then at the same time, you know, that was I was sometimes known for saying things the wrong way or not saying the way they were meant to say. Well, anyway, I really can't really help how I was how on one offshoot of Sailor Moon I was this way, and then how I was in another way, and how I was handled in the Sailor Moon funny book, or how I was handled in my own funny book, or how I was handled in the drawing show or the live show. Now, at the end of the day, the one thing that tends to be the same with all of this is that they all follow the one thing. Oh, I started out as Sailor V before I showed up as a fifth Sailor fighter, and then I was only playing as the Alderling of the Moon to get all the foes off of, keep everyone away from Sailor Moon, who was the Alderling of the Moon. And then I just became the leader of the Sailor Fighters afterwards. But then, no, Sailor Earth was the Grand Leader, one rank above me. So, anyway, yeah, I know that the way I was handled, in the books, and the way I was handled in the drawing show, and I handled in the live show, and the way I was handled in the other drawing show was, was not the same. And I'm sorry for that not being. I'm sorry for it not working. I'm sorry for that. So, all right, I'll let you all go. Tell you what you think about it, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye. Sailor Venus, Sailor V, Sailor Hellroad Mina out.